Welcome to the Morningstar Podcast, a space for real conversations and shared experiences. Together, we'll explore the ideas and stories that inspire, guide, and connect us all. Let's get started. The Morningstar Podcast discusses topics related to recovery, addiction, and mental health, which may be sensitive for some listeners. We are not medical professionals, and this podcast is not a substitute for professional advice or treatment. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, Fish.
Oh yeah.
Good to see you. Good afternoon. We want to welcome everybody back again. I think we are about 22 episodes in now. This is our little podcast spot here. We had an idea and to want to do outreach, and one of those ideas is to try to use TikTok, YouTube, Facebook to try to share information about some of our services, and we wanted to bring people on to just to come and share positive messages. There's a lot of there's a lot of recovery podcasts out there of people just kind of telling their story of their using and then how they got sober, and we have some of those stories on here too, but we wanted to kind of expand on just kind of expand on things. And so we've been having different people from the community up here so far. So people that are involved in our cultural ways, people that are entrepreneurs, and staff members. I think we had a couple. Did we have those probation officers yet?
No, not yet. We're hoping to get one soon, though.
We want them to come on. Just different aspects. CPS workers, cops. So. We just want to say good afternoon, Fish. We just would like to ask you to introduce yourself, where you grew up, and just a little bit about yourself to get us started here. So thank you again for making your way down here.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad I finally made it down. Is it the second or third time we tried this?
Yeah.
Third time's a charm, I guess. So. Yeah, but my name's Clint Wolf. I'm from Shell Creek, Newtown segment in Newtown.
Mm-hmm.
Enrolled member MHA, member of the Shell Creek Native American Church. Trying to think of what else, that's kind of relevant. Member, I guess, we're planning on our clans and societies and things. I'm a member of the Crazy Dog Society.
Okay.
I'm a member of that,
Mm-hmm.
So, but beyond that, kind of pretty simple, not too, resume isn't too big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we always, when we were thinking about, who could we get, for us and some of us boys that know you and Des, we thought about you right away. We think of you as, you're the legendary coach too,
Mm-hmm.
from where we come from, basketball player, and you've had experience with growing up where we all grew up, going to school, playing sports, and kind of leaving the res for a little bit and experiencing life and what it's like out there and the ups and the downs, and then so some of that too,
Yeah.
You have experience with all of that, and that's those perspectives and that life experience is what's important, and is what we try to share to people. It's not all just about going to treatment and all that. It's all the other stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And so maybe you can um, just share something with us. Share something good with us today.
Doing right. Yeah, yeah. As far as like you're talking about looking at your outline here, talking about basketball and how it became a part of my life early, and I'll be honest with you, I took a lot of work to get where I was at. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was up to junior high. I was the last guy coming off the bench. I couldn't walk and chew gum. I'd fall over, and
Yeah,
and then
me
between my
too.
eighth grade freshman year, I grew from 5'8" to 6'1" in a month.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And so it kind of caught gave me a little bit of advantage. I grew a few inches,
Mm-hmm.
and my coordination caught up to me in a hurry. So it kind of was able to put things together, I guess, and the game got a little easier for me,
Mm-hmm.
But it took a lot of work. It took a lot of work, a lot of days of out there by myself in the cold, or playing games in my mind, and
Mhm.
doing all the old what everybody does,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, and it kind of took me in that direction, Up until that point, I was, like I said, I didn't really have any aspirations of playing basketball. Like I said, I was the last guy on the bench. All the guys were ahead of me, and just go along for the burgers, so I could get out of school for a few hours, and that's kind of about where I was at with it, But
Mm-hmm.
it was able to put things together and made a got. It took me a little ways. It took me
Mm-hmm.
a while. It took me around until I met a lot of good people through it, through that orange ball. I
Mm-hmm.
met a lot of good people. I was able to make a lot of good acquaintances,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and good people, people that are influential and people that are doing good things.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to get acquainted with some of them, and they still talk with things today, and biggest influence in my life though, as far as basketball goes, I'm just gonna say it. It was Buster Gillis, Coach Gillis.
I know who that is.
Yeah, he was my college coach in Botano back in '86,
Okay.
and he coached under Dave Gunther at UND, and it was his first college coaching job by himself. His first head coaching job was at BSC. Was at back then it was NDSU Botano,
Mm.
and I was teased my brothers, some of the guys I know. I said that was my only claim to fame. I was his first or second recruit that he ever recruited
Mm.
in his college career.
Mm.
And think of all the players that came after them,
Mm-hmm.
all the Native American players that came. That was his first one. That was his first Native American recruit,
Mm.
and he's been to a lot of good players. Over
Mm.
then he down here at BSC.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so he's
Mm.
he still texts me every now and then.
Oh yeah.
Checks up on me. Um, when I was going through cancer, I had my surgery, and I was laying in bed, and I was looking down that hallway, and I saw somebody turn that corner, and I was kind of half asleep, and I looked. I said, "That looks like Coach." I recognized that walk. This was, let's see, I was about 50 then. This was probably about 35, 32, 34 years later.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw that walk. I knew exactly who it was. That's Coach. I said,
Mm-hmm.
sure enough, he was him. He came to the hospital. He
Mm-hmm.
heard I was sick.
Mm-hmm.
So that meant a lot to me that he took time out, even if it was just for 15, 20 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
meant a lot that he still took time to come. So, he's a big influence on me. He was a
Mm-hmm.
really big influence on me. Uh, I, he helped me through a lot of days that he don't know. A lot of days of coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I was sitting there scratching my head. What do I do? What do I do? And and it's kind of sounds kind of corny and this and that. But well, what coach do? I try to
Mm-hmm.
think of how he would do. And he was a strict coach when he
Mm-hmm.
first started. And I don't know how he was in later days, but man, he used to punish us when we were in his first few years in Butno.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, he was a big influence. He's
Mm-hmm.
one of those guys. And I'm sure that he impacted a lot of Native American boys. And like around here.
Mm-hmm.
He took. I always took that chance on the Native boys.
Mm-hmm.
There was that back in the '80s. There was that stigma. You don't recruit natives. They're not going to make it. They're not
Mm-hmm.
this and that. They're he never gave up. He never gave up, and I
Mm-hmm.
always never thought about what they did. He always thought what they can do. That was
Mm-hmm.
how kind of how I interpreted it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he never gave up on us. He never, even Whereas a lot of the coaches would have probably said, "The heck with this," and moved on to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
He still gave us that second chance,
Mm-hmm.
even third chance sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So he was a big influence.
Mm-hmm.
And that's tried to pattern how I coached and things after him.
Okay.
Even to the point where some of the plays we ran were still what we ran off of his
Mm-hmm.
UND offense and up there.
Mm-hmm.
Still use those.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so he's impacted me. I still all his folders, everything. I still have them from college. I still have them. That's how much how much it meant to me.
Mm-hmm.
How much it meant to me. And even though it's just maybe one of 1,000 kids that he coached under, it sure impacted my life.
Mm-hmm.
Sure impacted my life. So
Yeah, that's good. And I think it's important that it's important because we all know where we come from. Growing up in Newtown, sports and basketball. That's one of the. I mean, I just remember for me, basketball season. I mean, that's half of the reason why a lot of kids go to school on time. And you're getting your
Mhm.
work done, and then we see, just like you're talking about, some of the struggles that we have as young people trying to make it to the next level. We might have the talent, but then and we get there, and then you know sometimes it works out. A lot of times it don't, though, too,
yeah,
because we don't have somebody there to, not everyone might not have been lucky enough to have a good coach like what you had, or they might just be kind of thrown in with 20 other red shirts and
yeah,
make it through the first semester and just kind of fall to the wayside and then have to return home. And then that's when we fall into, things that we shouldn't be
yeah,
around.
yeah.
Um, how was it for you, Des? You
Um,
played basketball after school or after
no,
high school,
well,
right?
not right after high school. Yeah, like I did really good my junior year, and then was on the verge of getting a scholarship, and then senior year everything just kind of fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't able to finish my basketball season. I did have a baby pretty young, a month before I graduated high school, and I just felt like a complete failure. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because basketball was my way out, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of us have that mentality of like basketball is going to be my way off the res. You know what I mean? Like I'm going to make my family proud. All this and that, and then just a turn of events from my own decisions. That things didn't go the way I planned, and that's okay. You know what I mean? I still was able to make it to Newtown Community College. I did get a scholarship. Uncle Fisher, he was the one that coached us, and it kind of brought my spirit back a little bit, in a
Mm-hmm.
sense. It changed my thought of like maybe I can still do this. You know what I mean? Like because everything kind of got bad there for a little bit. You know what I mean? But it was just that turn of like, come on, let's go. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
make sure and show up, and then yeah. So I did get to eventually play some college ball with my sister, and having coach here be our coach was pretty cool, and not to say
Mm-hmm.
that every season went pretty good. I still had some episodes there, while we were out traveling, and but
Mm-hmm.
coach here never, like you said, never gave up on us. You know what I
Never
mean?
give up on you guys, huh?
Still encouraged us to do our best and show up for ourselves. And but yeah, I think the way that coach kind of coached us, it wasn't just about basketball. You know what I mean? Like I know that like me playing basketball with a good coach kind of like helped me grow my like the way I like my attitude. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there was growth in my attitude, like from not trying to throw a fit all the time to just acceptance and like what's the next thing I can do. You know what I mean? Better or whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of stuck with me too, like my attitude towards things and how I handle different situations. It's just it's stuck. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's just something I kind of want to share.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. There was every season was like that. There was boy, I get mad at these guys.
Yeah,
Hurry
yeah,
up,
man.
let's
I
go
know.
eat. Get out the bus, let's go eat. No, I
Messing you guys.
give each other the silent treatment for about 5 10 minutes, and then just go on again.
We'd be at McDonald's in the
Yeah,
morning, bushy
McDonald's in the
hair,
morning, bushy
everything,
hair. Yeah, yeah.
fish to
Fish to
babies,
Brady's. Yeah.
trying to get those breakfast sandwiches.
But it in way like I said about junior high. I see these make these things when you're a senior this way, your goals and this and that.
Mhm.
And they said, what are your goals? What do you want to do? And I didn't think nothing of it at that time. I want to be a college coach. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I wrote down when I was a sixth grader.
Mm.
These little things you draw and put,
Mm-hmm.
I put that in there,
Mm-hmm.
and lo and behold, I got to achieve that. You know, and some might say, well, it's a community college. No, it's still a college.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was still a college, and we did everything that a college program would do.
Mm-hmm.
We we changed it from a simple tribal program to actually having standards,
Mm-hmm.
to making these guys do things. You know, it wasn't perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but we sure tried. You know, we tried to
Mm-hmm.
get it, and we were, man, we got up in a hurry. You know, we had some good players come through my programs.
Yeah.
I had
Mm-hmm.
real good players.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had Christine Miller, Miss
Mm-hmm.
Basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she was there. Christine Mason, my daughter Carolyn, we had Jaylee Fimbers,
Mm-hmm.
Mariah Watchman, Alexis Archambault, Jennifer Thunderhawk, Joe Smith, Linnea Driftwood. Man, I could name all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
good players that came to our program.
Sandy tore it
Yeah,
up too,
Sandy.
man.
Oh man, Sandy was.
Yeah.
I love coaching Sandy Youngberg.
Sandy was,
Man,
yes.
she was a beast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who that
She
is.
was a beast, man. If you could watch her play, you know, she was like she was just out of breath all the time and ready, like she ready to pass out. But man, she was the funnest thing to coach, man. She was, I mean, at that age, she was older too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She was older, you know. She didn't have to put up with our crap, you know, but she did. She put up with it, and that's how we ended up winning the first AHAC
Mm-hmm.
championship
Yeah.
Holy
with
cow.
Sandy. We had Sandy, and yeah, so yeah, that's how we got started.
Mm-hmm.
And for the first month of our program, I think 3 months, and with Christine Miller, we had just about 8 girls, Shay Leeson, and some other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And I was calling and trying to find games. Alice Spotted Bear, Rusty Mason, they're the ones that started that program
Mm-hmm.
that I was under. They actually came and seen me, and we want you to do this. They said
Mm-hmm.
they had other teams where the coaches would they get them and take them to AHAC, you know,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a month or two before, but they wanted to have a full blown program. That's how it got started.
Mm-hmm.
Through Alice Spotted Bear,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and that's how we got started. And then with the help of Dave Dobbs' mom, Winona.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she was a secretary for the president, but she was doubling as for me over there too.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that, and man, we sack lunches and drive on our own cars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, take my truck and throw all the bags in the back and have an old 15 passenger van and have another car, filling up using my own card and making sandwiches
And no travel
no,
advice weather.
yeah, no travel advice. Whether there we go
We
down
were-
the road,
Yeah.
you know, just to get to a game,
Yeah.
just because we wanted to get our program off. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it. I thank them girls that first year for sticking it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was tough, man. We only had like maybe 8-10 games.
Mm-hmm.
And we practiced from September to March. We was practicing every day,
Mm-hmm.
and couldn't get no games. Nobody knew us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, definitely the JUCO didn't want to touch us. Well, who the heck are these guys?
Mm-hmm.
So we ended up going to Montana. That's
Yeah.
how we ended up in that Montana league out there.
Oh yeah.
That's how we ended up out there. They took us in. The Montana Tribal League, they took us in. So that's why we was going, man, it's horrible roads. And just to get there to
Mm-hmm.
get our program off the ground, you know. And so that first crew, they set the groundwork for us to get off the next year. We went up to 18, 20 games.
Mm-hmm.
Then these guys showed up, and then we just kept progressing, and we were able to get on a junior college schedule. Played all the junior colleges in the state,
Mm-hmm.
Montana, you know, all the tribal colleges. And toward the end, we was boys team was playing like northern Havre, Dakota East. I think it was Dakota, Montana West, I think, and Dillon, Montana. So they were playing NAIA schools.
Mm-hmm.
So we was getting there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we was getting there, but you know, things happen and
Mm-hmm.
for a reason, and whether we understand it or not, it's beyond us. You know, so but
Mm-hmm.
you know, but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was.
That was I'm just gonna say it. I was living my dream.
We were too.
I was living my.
We were too.
When I thought about it, you know, after I thought about it, it was to me it was a blessing because I could go get these kids that didn't make it the first time
Mm-hmm.
and give them that second chance. I never had kids fresh out of school. Nobody wanted to come to a tribal college fresh out of high school. So I had to go after the ones that been out 2, 3, 4 years
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and try to coax them to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but luckily they did.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily they did. You know, we got, man, like I said, you're only as good as your players. I'll say it. You can be the best coach in the world, but if you have crappy players, you're
Mm,
not going to matter.
mm,
You have to have talent, and I was blessed.
mm,
I'll say it. I was blessed every season with good talent.
mm,
I was blessed with good talent every year. Every year, they were good kids, guys on the guys' team, and we tried so hard to get that going. To work so hard. One year, I coached 98 games,
holy cripes.
and we were playing at SKC.
Mm-hmm.
Girls were playing on one court, the boys were playing on another. I was standing in the middle, turning around, back and forth.
Oh my God.
SKC is wicked.
Yeah.
They get
So
wicked players too.
that's how much. That's what's. And people wouldn't believe the struggle. I mean, the struggles as a travel college coach, a regular coach will never understand it.
Mm,
They'll never understand it. We used to take our bags and put them in a circle, and the babies would play in the middle and take turns watching them. We'd have a daycare on the side for our kids while their moms were playing on the court.
mm,
Yes.
That's how it was.
Mm-hmm.
But but a lot of them got their educations.
mm,
Ashley Hall just got her master's.
Mm-hmm. I seen that.
She just got her
Yes.
master's, and when you found her, she was sleeping on people's couches. Not to put her business out there,
Mm-hmm.
but she was kind of having a hard time when we found her. Now
Mm-hmm.
she's got her master's degree. She's a testimony to that.
Yes.
Alexis Archambault, she
Yep.
got her master's.
mm,
Carolyn got her bachelor's. A lot of them, these guys got associates, and they got degrees. So that was
It's awesome.
that was the ultimate result that you want. Because like the old adage that they used to say, use basketball, don't let basketball use you. They flipped it, and we were able to find someone that said, "Hey, come on, let's go try this again." And it worked. And it worked. It may not have worked anyplace else, but for some reason it worked where we were at. It's all fell into place in a hurry too. We got successful in like 3-4 years. I mean, it was kind of scary how fast we came up, but but it was just, I guess it's a part of my life that I went through. It's over and had some success in it. There's it's a hard thing being a coach. It is. It's a hard thing being a coach. If you a coach that cares, it's a hard thing. If you're just worried about the wins and losses, then you can be that kind of coach. But like I said, through Buster and through some of the other coaches I had, Bob Waldo, some other coaches I had, I don't think that way. Try to make sure that they would ask, "Are you okay? How you doing today?" I'm going, "No, how are you doing today?" I tell them, And through that, so that's why I had a compassion for these kids. I want them to make a life for themselves. Make a life for themselves and do some of those things that I couldn't do. I didn't do, I should say. Get that degree and finish up what you started. And but so
don't be like me. It took me about 4 years, 5 years to get a 2-year degree.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I'm still working on
I had to start over twice.
That's all right.
I'm 50. I'm 57. I got credits in all kinds of different different
different
areas, but they're not on the same. If I put them all together, they still won't make anything. Like putting about five jigsaw puzzles together and trying to make it work.
Tony just started up too this week over there.
Oh, good.
In Newtown. Yep, she went back to school finally, so
yeah,
that's
hopefully
awesome.
she's going to be next, and then yep.
I want to kind of shift just a little bit. What are some traditions or some teachings that you feel are especially important to pass on to the next generation, our younger generation? That could be towards young folks, younger people, or also with a lot of people that we have come through our services.
Yeah.
Like myself too. People that come through are looking for a new start. And part of our services that we provide, we provide the 12-step and the medical, and then we try to have a cultural part, and a lot of people look towards our cultural, so what would be some good advice, or just some good advice to get a person understanding things?
Yeah. I've been through inpatient, outpatient, a couple times inpatient, about 3 or 4 times outpatient. I've been through, so
Mm-hmm.
I know the system, you know, and AA meetings. This was back in the 80s,
Mm-hmm.
and I make no bones about it. I started drinking when I was 10 years old. 10 years old, I was drinking. We would run around the alleys and steal beer from the fishermen's boats and go sit by the river. And, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I was 10 years old and I was 12. I started smoking, using marijuana,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I know what that's about. I started at a young age and I don't make no bone. I'm not going to hide it. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not proud of it, but I'm not ashamed of it. It's made me who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And been through AA and different things. And like I tell you guys, we go to sweat and things. And there was, I didn't like AA. I didn't like it
Mm.
because I was like 19, 20 years old, listening to guys 60, 70 years old farmers talking about their crops and the price of this and the price. It didn't make no sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't relate to anything they were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I was in a foreign land with all these old farmers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little res boy from Newtown. From
Mm-hmm.
the village,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thrown in with these guys talking about their crops and oh man. But one guy pulled me to the side and talked to me. He said, "I kind of see you kind of kind of get bored, huh? I'm gonna tell you something." He said, "Maybe you might not come back, but I'm gonna tell you something." He said, "What I've come to find out," he said, "for you young people," he said, "God doesn't want to hear what you have to say for the first year of your sobriety. It's all empty promises and empty vows. When you have a hard time, oh, get me through this. I promise I'll do this. Just go along and work on yourself." And it took me a long time, but I figured out what he meant. I started seeing things and looking at people. People will make, oh man, they go and they get sober. Oh man, they're holy right off the bat. They get wakan. They get, they want to do this. Every ceremony that comes along, they want to jump in it. And,
Mm-hmm.
and if, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there is, but sometimes people need to slow down and get into it too fast.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you get into it fast, it seems like they want that immediate gratification of them prayers. They want them right now.
Mm-hmm.
Or it doesn't come, or if they stumble a little bit, then they relapse.
Mm-hmm.
This way, we just take our time and just like what that guy said, just go along, just work on yourself. Tell God, thank you. Go on, he said. And
Mm-hmm.
by the time that year comes around, you can be comfortable with enough in yourself enough to pray to Him in an honest manner, not panicking, not in panic
Mm-hmm.
mode.
Yeah.
Because
Yep.
you want to try to save yourself at the last second.
Mm-hmm.
It made sense to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It may not make sense to anybody else, but to me it does. And that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense to me. Slow down, take your time.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing I see. I see it from a lot of these young people. It's good to find your way. You have to have a belief in something.
Mm-hmm.
You do. You have to. It doesn't matter if you're clean and sober, if you're having a hard time. You have to have a belief in something, whatever that is, whatever that works for you.
Mm-hmm.
You could be going to ceremonies. It could be going to church up the street, whatever it is. However, it could be a rock if you want it to be. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
If you believe in it and it works for you, then that's yours.
Mm-hmm.
How you communicate with God, that's between you and Him. That's nobody else's business. So but you have to have that belief in something that you can fall back on to talk to rely on. You have to have that. It's your comfort zone. It's your safety line when you need it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have that. You have to have that. But like I said, sometimes, but in that too, you have to be honest with it.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be honest with that, with whatever that belief is, whatever that works for you. Like me, I go to Native American church. I love the sweat lodges. That's who I am. That's why I love that. That's my way of life. Ever since I was a little baby, I've been in the Native American church. I grew up in there.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in there a lot of days. The times when I had a hard time in my life is when I left it alone. I went and tried to be by myself and do it on my own. I had a hard time drinking, all that. When I wasn't around that circle that I was comfortable with, that I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I had a hard time. I made myself have a hard time.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't doing what I was supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
So, but now, like I said, that's how I grew up ever since I was little. Had meetings in there. My name was one of my first Indian name is still there. We had meetings for me at birthdays, graduations, you know, all that, all that, had everything that parents do for their kids. They did that. My late dad, my mom did that for us.
Mm-hmm.
Even high school graduations and different things. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my fallback. That's
Mm-hmm.
if I got to stay close to those. If I stay more than a week or two away from them, my mind kind of wanders a little bit. It kind of starts thinking crazy. So I got to stay close. I got to stay close to them lodges.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can go once or twice a year and it works for them, and that's good. But to me, that's my therapy.
Mm-hmm.
That's my therapy session when I go in there. Listen,
Mm-hmm.
not talk, but listen to what everybody's saying. Listen to how people what they're talking about, and like uh like they always
Mm-hmm.
say, that's why God gave us two ears and two eyes and one mouth, so we can listen and see what's going on rather than talk all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I try to utilize that and listen to maybe what somebody might be saying over here and somebody over here, and something in there might impact me in that night, even at my age. Even though I'm not saying I'm old either, but for our group, I'm one of the oldest ones for us.
Mm-hmm.
For our group, our Shellcrit chapter, I'm one of the older ones. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, we try to pay attention to those things.
Mm-hmm.
Even my age, I still learn every time I go in that lodge, in that sweat lodge, in that teepee, in that hogan. I learn something every time. I learn something new about myself every time if I pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
If I let it, if I let it, But like I said, we're human, We we,
Mm-hmm.
we make mistakes, and that's just everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's how it is for me as far as like
Yeah.
traditions. And for our people back home, one thing I see is, and my late father was a big proponent of it, our clanship system. Learning our clanship system. Who do you talk to? Who do you donate to? Who do you tease? Who do you take care of? Call them by that. We try to do that, with our group. You see
Mm-hmm.
that we try to call each other by that.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're younger than us. Hey, that's my little brother. Hey, that's my little dad. We call each other by that.
Mm-hmm.
And respect. It's the respect part of that.
Mm-hmm.
The respect part of that. And that's the part that I think we're kind of losing. And the thing I see through social media and things, and I'm guilty of it. I post stuff all day. I'm goofy stuff. I like raising hell on it. But the thing I see, but I only keep it to that. I don't get too serious on it. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
There seems to be a trend where people need to be validated with everything they do.
Mm.
They need likes. They need validation. They need people to say, "Oh, good job." They need that,
Mm-hmm.
and they need that. They need to be noticed. These people with them kind of egos, this is right up their alley. The ones that like to be noticed, the flamingos, I call them. The ones that like to be out there. This is their time. This is their day. Whereas before it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. There was no. Of course, we didn't have everything now, but there was no. The respect part of it was, and even how they talk in public, how they talk to each other. You know, I see a lot of our traditions are kind of getting pushed to the side. Ah, it's old. It doesn't matter anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It that way because you make it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Because you want to do what you want to do because it makes you feel good rather than follow what's supposed to be put in place for us. No, no, geez, I can't do that. Geez, I want to, but I can't.
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to following that, we find a way to justify it so that we can go do what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or if you're going to do something, you're going to have a ceremony. You call your clan mom, you call your clan dad. I'm going to have this. Get their approval. And if they say no, then you don't do it. Things like
Mm-hmm.
that. Things
Mm-hmm.
like that. That the respect part of it is going away.
Yeah.
Is going away. You go to a feed. Usually we get up our elders to get up first, or we take them plates, and then the visitors. And then and when we were growing up, when it come time to eat, we got chased outside. We weren't allowed in there.
Mm.
You guys go outside and go play. And when everybody got done eating, then we got to come in, and whatever was left, we ate. Now people push their kids in front of old people and put them up there. It's not supposed to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not supposed to be like that. They wait. They
Mm-hmm.
wait. And even now, like I said, things have changed. But every 10 years, our society changes. I've noticed when I start coaching, watching the kids, and that's how I noticed that through coaching. Every 10 years, it changes.
Hmm.
The attitude changes, and it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're getting to be selfish, me and I and me,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And
Mm-hmm.
but then again, that's just my point of view.
Yeah.
That's just my point of view. But that's what I see.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I see, and if they would come back to these ceremonies and take them serious, maybe they could learn a little bit about themselves like we did. They might learn how to deal with things rather than have to have a problem and then have to put it out there for the world to see,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I don't know, it makes me uncomfortable when I see that,
Yeah.
when I see that you can call somebody, you can call somebody and talk to them. And probably
Mm-hmm.
just sweat someplace. There's a ceremony going on someplace,
Mm-hmm.
you know. There's ways to deal with it, but right away, if they want to do is put it out there for the world,
Yeah.
And like I said, not everybody's your friend.
Yeah.
Not everybody's happy for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to be in good spirits if something good happens to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you put out there maybe something not so good went along, you ain't gonna make them happy.
Mhm.
It's none of their business. Whatever goes on in your life is yours. That's your life. That's not for the world to see. You shouldn't have to have that validation. You shouldn't need that validation. If you're comfortable in your own skin and you're comfortable with yourself, you shouldn't have to do that. And like I said, I'm guilty of it too. I
Mm-hmm.
post all kinds of goofy stuff. I do.
We know.
But I don't get serious on it. I don't.
Mhm.
It's that to me. That's what it's for.
Yeah.
Not to put diary out there and for the whole world to see.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, that's just my point of view. I'm kind of an old crabby guy anyway.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think that just from my own experience, 'cause I'm still new to, but how I got clean sober. I didn't um necessarily do the 12-step way. I just found Sweat Lodge and Sundance and NAC, and I just remember looking back on it now, that's what you guys were telling me, and I had to. I won't say learn the hard way. It's just there was some of the learning the hard way, but um, that's why I bring up the question is because for people like myself and others that are just trying to get clean, I was coming from being an addict for a lot of years,
yeah,
and they always say to um, long story short, if you're gonna to quit something, you got to replace it with something good.
yeah,
Replace it with something good. And in our recovery um, circles and what we see, I mean, it's a daily thing.
hmm
I mean, this is a daily. You have to all these thoughts and trying to do the right thing and make better choices and better people. I mean, it's a daily reprieve, they call it, a
yeah,
Mhm.
daily thing. It's a
Yeah.
daily thing. And so then if you're trying to, like myself, I remember, you know, sometimes I'd go to 3 sweats in a week. But and in the beginning, I mean, I felt like that's what I needed.
yeah,
It was like I always had to be cutting wood. I had to be doing something. I had to keep my hands busy, keep my mind going, try to try to just have something in front of me to keep me going.
yeah,
But then, and then I have family and I have a home to try to take care of and my kids and a companion. And how do I, so, and if you keep going like that, like what you're talking about, you can do that too much though, too.
yeah, yep,
And so then, and luckily I had people that were kind of keeping an eye on me, like, hey, maybe you should, you got your kids at home, you know what I mean? You can't be going to every ceremony and going to
yeah,
every this and that. But I'm like, and so and so trying to learn how to take my time,
yeah,
it eventually kind of worked itself out and I had to go through it.
yeah.
I had to go through it and learn that, and catch hell from my companion and my in-laws and my girls, and then I got girls too,
Yeah.
and they're like, geez, Dad, you're always over there. You're always with your friends. You're always doing this, and so, it's important because we try to, because we see that in our services too. We try to provide sweat at least twice a week, and a lot of the people that are coming through our services, and a lot of the people that are going to be listening to this podcast and to some of the things that we're talking about, we want them to be aware of those things when they leave here too.
Yeah.
There's 5 different sun dances. There's always a ceremony, and we want people to learn and to at least be aware and to hear the message here that to that there's a way to take your time too.
Yeah.
There's a way to take your time and to not burn yourself out your first year of recovery like you're talking about and
Mm-hmm.
get too holy about things. And but if we're not told, we don't know any better.
Yeah.
Right.
We don't know any better.
Yeah.
you know like you said, who do you go ask, or who, because no one's gonna say nothing until you hit a wall or something
Yeah.
happens, then you'll be told.
Yeah.
But we need people to help coach us along, to
Yeah.
help us get there.
Yeah.
So um so that's just a little bit about my experience with that and how I feel about that.
No, everything you said is right. Everything you said
Mm-hmm.
is right. It's a pattern. So a lot of people go through it. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they latch onto it and they have to be around it, and that's their. Like you said, you take something out, you have to replace it with something good, and you're replacing that what you were doing with the ceremonies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Mm-hmm.
that's But then again, the too much of a good thing is no good, and too
Mm-hmm.
much of a bad thing is no good.
Mm-hmm.
But to find a happy medium is it's kind of a struggle sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a struggle sometimes to find a happy medium.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's why, like I said, we go back to our clan fathers, your grandpas. You go ask them, gee, I'm kind of having a hard time. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? They're going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a lot of experience in their life.
Mm-hmm.
May not be what you want to hear, but it's the rightful way to do it. But a lot of times we want to try to power through it ourselves and don't want to bother nobody or embarrassed about it or mad about it or whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever that is. But it's I guess it's a good problem too in one way.
Mm-hmm.
In one way, it's a good problem to have because you're doing something good.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, it's just when it comes down to us just being comfortable in our own skin, you know, with what we can do,
Mm-hmm.
and to find other ways to cope with things. That's the struggle. That's the struggle part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Finding ways to cope with things,
Yeah.
and because usually the first thing we want to do is first response we grab onto is anger. The first thing we want to do is get mad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we want to get mad, and then after that, if we can't do nothing about it, then I hate to say it, but we just kind of give up.
Mm-hmm.
And the hell with it then. You know, I was like that a lot of days. I was like that a lot of days. So, but
Yeah.
I agree with everything you said. It's a pattern. It happens, and people get into it.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, there needs to be people that talk about these things open, in a manner that people are going to listen. You know, you want to try to find someone that you can relate to on a personal level that can talk to you, that you can sit down and talk like this. That's going to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be open with you. A lot of the times I find people don't want answers. They just want somebody to listen to them. That's all. That's simple.
Mm-hmm.
But they just want somebody to listen to them, with their problems,
Mm-hmm.
to actually, I guess, give a damn.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we want. That's what we want. Somebody that we can confide in, somebody we can talk to, someone we can relate to. And there's a lot of these people that do these ceremonies and things. A lot of spiritual leaders, and a lot of them. Be careful where you go to. That's what I was told.
Mm-hmm.
Be
Yep.
careful where you go to. You know, go find that person that's within your own tribe, someone you can relate to, someone you know,
Mm-hmm.
someone that knows your family,
Mm-hmm.
somebody that knows you. and they can talk to you like this. They can talk to you like this and tell you things, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the kind of person you want to be acquainted with. These kind of people are going to help you get through a lot of days that aren't good in your life. Those kind, those that's like I said, and again, that's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's better to find them kind of people rather than the ones that are on a different level, I guess you could say. The ones that are going to sit on the ground with you and laugh with you and cry with you. Those are the kind of ones you want to be around.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Ones that are genuine, ones that are honest, ones that actually care that you're doing okay. You know, and there's a lot of I see it. I've heard about it, and I'm not. Don't get me wrong, and I say this. It's just an observation. A lot of people out there just do it just for the money, for the monetary, you know, for the aesthetic of it,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And through my years and the people I've known, the people that I consider mentors, they were never like that. They were always behind the scenes. They were always standing in the back. You had to go look for them. You couldn't find them up front. You had to go look for them, you know. And they were there. They were there, and they would help you,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And they were honest with you, and they would give you heck too, you know. Like I said, when they were honest, they were honest. You did this to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something you want to hear, but it's something you needed to hear.
Mm-hmm.
It's something you need to hear. Because like we talked about basketball, we talked about in native players and then society, and then we talked about all this stuff. We don't want to be uncomfortable anymore. We don't want to be uncomfortable any way, shape, or form. You know, whether it's going to a ceremony and getting extra hot, or going to a Sundance and going through that, or going to doing this or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or getting up early and going to work, or somebody telling you, hey, you're doing this wrong, telling us about our shortcomings. We don't want to be uncomfortable. We don't want to tell people, we don't want people to say, hey, you shouldn't do that. And it comes back to a point where we were talking about this with some other guys, where we grew up 5 o'clock, you had to be at the supper table. If you weren't at the supper table at 5 o'clock, you didn't eat. You were expected to be there. If you didn't, you had to call and let somebody know. So that the family dwelling isn't there anymore. There are a lot of kids that are raising themselves. They're in a home with the mom and dad, but they're still raising themselves because the life is so fast. Today's society is fast. It's constantly moving. You got to try to keep up. And a lot of people get lost in that. They get lost in that. That's why I said you need to. That's why we say we need to learn our people. I can't speak for other tribes. I can only speak for where I'm from. We need to learn our clans. We need to learn who we're related to. We need to learn our ceremonies. We need to learn our different areas of our reservation that have different meanings to it. There's places you can go and pray at different places on our reservation that you can go to. We don't know those things. They don't take the time to learn those things,
Mm-hmm.
you know, to where something real simple, we as native people, that we can do. We can go out real side and, I had a brother that laughed about it. He teased about, I don't need to go to ceremony. I said, out there, nature's my cathedral. But in a way, he's right.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to go in the building and pray as natives. We can go outside and talk to God. Everything out there has a spirit. Everything does. Everything has a spirit, and we can go out there. It's there to help us, but we overlook it because we think that there's nothing out there that can help us. Whereas one of our stories, I'm not going to go into it, but when they were just the overview, when they were picking things, what I was told, when they were all these beings were picking all these things. I'll be this bird. I'll be this. I'll be that. They were all these deities were picking these animals and these plants and all these things. The human being was the last one to get picked. Nobody wanted to be him. But instead of that, we think we run things. We were the very last one to get picked. None of those deities, none of those spirits wanted to be us. One guy said, okay, I'll do that then. He said, that's so, and then we have a tendency to think highly of ourselves. When we look at back there, we were the last one. Nobody wanted, and none of these things wanted to be us. We were the last ones to get picked. But yeah, we think we can do things and run things, and we can ignore nature out there. And nature will put you in your place.
Yeah.
You guys seen that this year with all the whirlwinds and tornadoes and storms you guys had down here. It make you behave yourself, make you sit still. You know, but we're not in touch with that anymore. We don't have that connection with nature anymore. Go and pray to the water. And all those things that they're still there. All those things are still there, but nobody asks about them. Nobody goes sees their grandmas and takes them a blanket or takes them a meal, ask questions and go sit with them and talk to them. They get to the age they want to talk. They want to share. They want to tell things. But we're so busy like this and going this way and going that way, doing this and going to softball tournaments, and we don't take time to do those things anymore.
Yeah.
We just think about our own gratification and doing what we want to do and doing what we want to do. We don't think about, especially if we have kids, you have daughters, you have to start teaching them things. You have to start telling them things, show them how to be, how to take care of themselves in the white man world and in our native world. You can put them together and make a life for themselves, but they need to know both. You can't be one or this way. They can't be a convenient native when it suits you. You know, you can't change this. The only thing you can do is make it darker. That's all you can do. You know, so it's not going to change who you are. You might as well just accept it. We're not Ishpariodis. We're not Mashishibashas. You know, we're MHA people. You know, we should be proud of that fact. You know, we should be proud of it. But today's society, it's different. You know, it's different to how things are, from how things used to be, and it's kind of tough for us that some of us that like your father-in-law, some of us older ones that grew up in that last 60s and 70s and 80s, late early 80s, when you see those things and how things are now, how things have changed. Man, it's running in front of people. I see little kids running in front of old people sitting there. No, they're supposed to go around. If the old man's sitting there, you go. I did that one time. My late father was going, hey, ha. You ask him, can I go in front of you? Yeah, go ahead. And, stuff like that. Instead of that, they just run and kick their feet, and parents think it's funny and laugh, and think it's cute. Yeah. To be told the word no is kind of a rarity. It's becoming a rarity. As long as they're not bothering us, and don't let them be. But my late grandma said that. My late grandma, Mary Edith Goodbear, said that. She told my parents that, tell your kids no. She told me that too. When my oldest daughter, Tisha, was born, little baby. Tell your kids no, she said, when they're little. Make them cry, she said. Tell them no. Let them get used to the word no. Otherwise, if you don't, when they get old, they're going to make you cry by their decisions because you didn't tell them no and they thought they could do whatever they wanted. The discipline side of it. Stuff like that. And I see that now. I see moms and dads, their kids as best friends. Call each other bro. Bruh. I give my grandkids hell when I hear that. Don't call your mom. That's your mom. You respect her. Don't call her that. But they think it's cute. Oh, that's just the way it is today. Well, it doesn't have to be if you don't let it. You allow it, so that's the way it is. But like I said, I come from. I was really fortunate to have the late father that I had. I was really fortunate to have all those teachings that he shared with us. And even my late uncle Brian Brady, same way. My late uncle Leonard Driver. Late uncle Perry Brady. Those uncles are good uncles. They told us a lot of things. They shared a lot of things with us, and they would even give us heck. They would even scold us in ceremonies. Hey, what are you doing? No, what are you doing? But that's how we grew up. That's how we grew up. That's how we grew up, and then I know it'll never go back to that. It'll never go back to that. But we can't lose in any of these ceremonies, and even in our everyday life, and even about ourselves, we can't lose that respect aspect of it. We can't lose that respect aspect. That's to this right here. That's all I'm responsible for on this earth. Myself right here. I'm responsible for this. I'm the one that dictates what happens to this right here. By whatever choice I make. And I think that if a lot of people kind of got back to that where they would just make sure they're okay and then help out when you can. But we tend to get in other buddy's business and then, take on more than we can chew sometimes, It's good to help sometimes, but sometimes you have to step back and take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you do. You have to stay. And we tell you that. I guess it was a guy that told you that. Hey, you don't have to be at every ceremony. Go home and stay home with your kids. We know because we did those things. We did those things. I did those things. I was in every ceremony, every sweat, everything I could think of. Boy, I was there putting teepees up, helping people drop everything. They call me, drop everything and run over there. And this is my story. I didn't take care of my family. My first family, I didn't take care of it. I was busy taking care of everybody else out there, making sure everybody else, but I didn't take care of my own family. Lost it. Even though I thought I was doing good out there. I was putting teepees up. I was going to ceremonies. I was going to sweats. I was chopping wood. I was doing all those things, taking care of everybody else except my own family. And I lost it. But like I said, whatever we do, and like I tell you guys, whatever we do in our life, whatever we decide to do, whatever we, good, bad, right, or wrong, that's our choice. I have diabetes. I can't blame the white man for that. That's not colonialism. I should have ate better. I should have got up and went for a walk. I shouldn't have had that second, third helping. I shouldn't have had that pop. That's my doings. I did that to myself. That first family, I didn't take care of it. I got beautiful children out of it. I do. I have beautiful children out of it, and I love them very much so. But because I didn't take care of it, I lost it. I didn't look after it. Busy looking after everybody else out there. Didn't take care of my home. So that's one thing that you have to make sure you don't do. You have to have that balance. That's why we kind of scold you. Hey, you better go home now. Go take care of your family. Because we've been there. We've been there. We've done those things, and we try to influence you in a way that you guys don't go through those things. Yeah. And so it needs to be taken serious. Everything we do needs to be taken serious. We can laugh and joke because that's who we are. I say lots of people. I don't care where we're at. You could be at a funeral. We could be at a wedding. And we're going to find something to laugh about. That's just who we are. And I say lots of people, that's who we are. And as like I said, I can't speak for other tribes, but I can speak for us. We are humorous in our, especially with that teasing clan part. And it's in there. Can't get away from it. And it's good. It teaches us good things. It makes us behave ourselves. Some people can't get teased. Boy, they're crabby and, they don't talk to me. Holy smokes. But that's up to them. So.
I remember last ceremony I was at Uncle Fish here. He was like, "Well, we'll see you next year because I only come yearly to the ceremony." I think last time I seen you was about this time last year. Well, we'll see you next year. I was like,
right after nationals.
I know. I know. Oh man, I needed to hear that though. You know what I mean?
They need to be smudged off after nationals.
Yeah.
But all of these ceremonies and all of these things we do, the Sundance, the Sweat Lodge, the NAC, they're not for everybody. They're not for everybody. And I say they shouldn't be. This is going to work for this person. This is going to work for this person. This is going to work for this person. Sometimes they can do all three. Sometimes they have 2 or 3 out of them. But they're not for everybody. Some people will come and show up one time and never see them again. And I say, to me, I'm happy about that. I'm happy about that. That sometimes these ceremonies don't appeal to certain people. Because there's something that with them that doesn't connect with it, but it does with us. So they're going to move on and find something next one till they find what works for them. whether it's ceremonies or whether it's going to the church up the street or just depending on yourself. You know, it's. But like I said, I don't know. I'm 1,000% sure that you have to have a belief in something. You
Yeah.
have to have a fallback on something. You know, because you can't do it on your own. You can't. Uh, just about anything in life, you're gonna need some help somewhere. Somewhere along the way, you're gonna need some kind of help. I don't care how tough you are. I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how many degrees you have. I don't care how much money you have. You're gonna need help someplace down the road. We are. We're gonna need. We all. Everybody's gonna be like that. We're all gonna need some kind of help down the road. So like my late dad said, it's better to treat everybody good. Be good to everybody. You never know, you might need them down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just push them to the side and talk to them this way and that way. You might need them down the road. Don't do that. Humble. Life has a way of humbling you.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's how it is. That's how I say. That way it stays personal. It stays that communication we have. It stays there. It stays there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different ways to do things. We laugh and joke and tease about it, but yeah, there's a lot of different ways. There's so many different ways to do things, but in the end, it's all the same. In the end, the result we want is the same. With the ending we want is all the same. We want good things, So how we get there is might be different, but the end result is what we all want, the same. Whatever ceremony we go to, So it's just like I said, we just got to find whatever one that works for us. You have to have it. You have to have that. Yeah, you have to. I don't care if you've been sober 50 years. I don't care if you've never took a drink in your life. You have to have that belief in something.
Mm-hmm.
Even more so if you're a user and you're struggling with it. Even more so, you need that fill that void. What's missing inside of you? What you're trying to, what you're using that to void that to fill that void of what you're lacking. You can use that. To that it like you said, you take something out, you have to replace it with something good. You have to replace it with something good, and that's how I see it.
Yeah.
That's how I see it, and I wish more people would find these ceremonies. I wish more people would look in their own communities and go to them old people and start finding out things, start learning things. It's I guess I'm gonna in one way it's the old people's not it's not their job to teach you. It's not their job to seek you out and teach you. They're sitting there waiting for you. You have to go find them. If you're eager and you're that serious about it, you'll go find them. You'll go find them and you'll go ask and and like I said, but like I was told, when people tell you something, when people have a conversation with you, a serious conversation with you about something, take all of it. Everything that they said to you, take all of it. Even the stuff that hurts your feelings. Take all of it. Don't just take the part that appeals to you, makes you feel good. The part that makes you hurt your feelings and makes you feel mad, sad, that's the part that's going to make you get better. That's that. You're dealing with that part. It's going to help you get through some of those things, what they're telling you. So, that's why I always say a lot of guys, you try to talk to them, especially these young guys, they come around, they first start telling, yeah, I know, yeah, I know. Yes, no, you don't. I'm thinking, because I was the same way 30 years ago. I'm thinking, no, you don't know. I was thinking, all right.
Yeah.
Now I kind of getting to that point where I know my late dad used to be, I get a headache and sit there like this. Yeah, no, I'm joking.
What do you think, Des? You got one more question for him?
I like it's kind of a tough one. What have been some of the biggest challenges you faced and how did you overcome them?
Biggest challenges? Oh my goodness. We're gonna be here another couple hours. No, health wise, been through cancer, stage 4 cancer. Health wise, I've been through that. Through a military deployment, I had PTSD and anxiety, depression. Couple divorces. You know, I was estranged from my kids for a lot of years.
Mm.
You know, well, 4 or 5 years. I was my younger kids. I was finally getting back to knowing them. Finally getting to know them as. Then they left me. They were babies. Now they're grown adults. And I have to get to know them all over again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and ceremonies did that for me. My youngest son coming back to ceremonies. You know, and my eldest daughter's bringing her and her husband are coming back around again. You know, the other ones are talking about coming. You know, so through all that, through all those things that I went through, I stayed close to, like I said, these ceremonies. I stayed close to them. I stayed close to them as much as I could. You know, maybe even a little overkill. You know, maybe even a little overkill. And I'll share my story with you guys. I don't have a problem with it. All those years, I went to a lot of ceremonies all over Navajo, Cree, Crow, Sioux, every ceremony. Oh, I got divorced. My kids went with their mom. Oh, I saw a pity pot crying. I don't have my kids. Oh, I didn't get to see them. I this and that. And praying and just, I guess it'll come to I can, now that I look back, I wasn't praying. I was whining around.
Mm-hmm.
I was crying around.
Yeah.
Sitting on a pity pot, feeling bad for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I did that for about 6, 8 years. I wasted 6, 8 years of my life feeling sorry for myself.
Mm.
And at a ceremony, I was sitting there, and when we hear people say things, this happened, or I heard a voice, or something told me, talked to me, this and that, whenever, you expect an epiphany,
Mm-hmm.
thunder and lightning, earth rattling, shaking the ground. I was sitting there and I heard a voice talk to me. I said, quit complaining. Everything's all right. And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
I started thinking about it. Yeah,
Yeah, you're
kids are
right.
okay. Their mom takes care of them. They're
Mm-hmm.
just not with me, but they're all right. I have a job. I have a house. I have a car. So after that, I quit changing my prayer up to it. The problem stayed the same, but instead of complaining, I started saying, thank you. I get to see my kids today. Thank you. Maybe next time I get to see them a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem stayed the same, but the attitude changed. And rather than sitting there feeling sorry for myself, then I start coming out of it slowly. I worked myself out of it. Once I figured out that everything is okay. It was just me. It was just me feeling sorry for myself. Me sitting on a pity pot.
Mm-hmm.
Once I got off that, I got okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got okay. So, but having that circle to fall back into got me through that whole ordeal that I put myself through, staying close to it. Then I had a good dad put up with me too. Oh, he used to, to have a mentor like that doesn't give up on you when he sees you struggling. And sometimes I kind of thought he probably got tired of me a long time ago. But he didn't give up. He stayed right there. Just no, it's all right. Keep going, son. It's gonna be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I knew that he probably already knew that everything was my own doings.
Yeah.
But you can't tell somebody something that they have to work through it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell them till you're blue in the face, but until they experience it themselves,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't make any sense to them.
Mm-hmm.
So those things that I went through, going through the mental, physical illnesses, going through the mental illnesses, to me, myself, my faith in what I follow got me through those. It got me through those things. To a point where I don't when I go into a ceremony, I don't go in with an agenda. I'm going to pray like this. I'm going to do this. No, whatever. I just follow him now. However he wants me to pray, that's how I'm going to pray. However he wants me to be in it. However, leave it to that. And we'll go in with that, with the open mind.
Mm-hmm.
With the open mind and just go along with the feeling of how it is. And not come in, no, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. I'm in charge. Nope, we're not in charge. Everybody try to think they're in charge. They're not in charge. He's in charge.
Mm-hmm.
We're just following along is all we're doing. And people that sit in these positions, I say they're just mouthpieces for him. That's all we are. That's all they are. They're just mouthpieces.
Yeah.
So that's why when we go into the ceremony, that's why we sit on the ground. We're all equal. We're all the same. There's nobody higher than anybody else. We all sit on the ground together and we pray together, eat together, eat food together, eat medicine together, pray together, all on the same level. There's nobody higher. Oh, we're all the same. We're all the same.
Yeah.
So that knowing that and having that making peace with some of those things that helped me get through it. I still struggle with a lot of it though. I still struggle with a lot of it, but it's getting better. I just got to stay on it and stay busy and and pay attention, stay awake. Best thing that ever happened to me in the last 10 years. I've had grandsons and different than that. One of the best things ever, my son came back to visit me. My son came back to ceremony with me. I sweat with my son the other day. Some people might take that for granted. A blessing to me. Dad, we're gonna have set. All right, I'm gonna be there. Get dressed and go over there. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful thing to experience those kind of things with your own children. To see them wanting to, I'm gonna have sweat. I'm gonna get wood. To see them take the initiative on their own makes you feel good that they're in a good place. They're on a good track. And so it reinforces my belief. Not I wouldn't say belief. It reinforces my faith in what I follow and what I do.
Yeah.
I had one of my dads tell me, "Don't ever say I believe in you. Don't ever say that." He said, because that means you're putting yourself on the same level as those deities. He said, we're not even close. Just say I have a faith. And I pray to you. That's it. They said. A lot of teachings like that. If we pay attention, they're there. If we seek them out and we sit in them kind of circles with them kind of people, them like-minded people that talk like that. But a lot of times, like I said, we don't want to because they're going to say something we don't want to hear. They're going to give us hell about something we did or didn't do or should have done. But like I said, a lot of days, a lot of times, I miss that. I miss someone say, "Hey, what are you doing?" I miss that from my late father. "Hey, son, oh, dang, what are you doing?" I miss that. I don't have that. Someone to say, "No, hey, no, you better do it like this." I don't have that to go. I miss that. I miss that. But now I'm able to. I'm able to get back to that, so I can do that for my son. I can do that for him. And like I said, it's a wonderful thing, man. Like people take it for granted. Don't ever take it for granted. Don't ever take your children for granted. Don't ever do that. It's when you see them doing good, it makes you feel good. Just like you guys, I see you guys doing good. It makes me feel good. Like my kids, I see them doing good. I see them behaving themselves. I see them doing what they're supposed to, going to work, taking care of the children. Man, that's awesome. You don't have to worry about them. When you don't have, when to me, it's like when I don't hear from my kids for a while, I know they're doing okay. When I start hearing from them a little bit longer, something's going on over here.
Yeah.
But I guess I like what you guys do down here. I do. I compliment you guys. I've seen a big change. Seen a real big change. It's kind of you don't recognize that when you're in the middle of it, because once you finish one battle, then another one shows up, and another one shows up. So you're constantly, But from us on the outside, being able to look and see this program that they come up with, it's a godsend to a lot of our people. It saved a lot of our people's lives. It did. When we didn't have this a few years ago, I thought, think of how many. If we had this way 10 years ago, think how many people we could have saved.
Yeah.
Think how many people could have helped. But it's here now. That's after the fact, but we're here now. It's better. It's better at home. It's not crazy like it used to be. People are okay. People are themselves again. People are living their lives again. And so I want to encourage you guys, and I wanted to commend you guys. You guys are doing a good job.
Thank you.
You are doing a good job. You can't save everybody. Remember that. You can't save everybody. You can only do the best you can. And leave it at that. You can't save everybody. You want to. It's up to them too. It's up to them, just like it was up to you guys. You guys made that choice. Now here you are helping others.
Mm-hmm.
They have that same opportunity. So if maybe things don't work out like you want to, or maybe it doesn't go the way you don't feel bad about it. You did the best you could. That's all you can do. As long as you're honest with it, and truthful with it, and do the best you can and help out, they have to do their part too.
Mm-hmm.
They have to do their part too. So I just wanted to say that to you guys, commend you guys, to say that to you. I don't know if in your field you probably don't hear that enough.
Yeah.
Thank
you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We sure appreciate that, Fish. We appreciate you taking the time to come down, share with us, talk to us. Like I said, we sure look up to you here, count on you. I know I do personally, and I'm sure that's how Des feels as well. And a lot of the we have at any given time within sober living and our residential facility and our women and children facility, we have at least 100 people active,
Yeah.
maybe more.
Maybe a little bit more altogether, yeah.
Altogether, probably more. And then, and so, we think about like with this podcast, and then we try to, we know that a lot of pretty much we all have a phone today.
Yeah.
Especially our young people. They don't watch TV. They're watching YouTube, TikTok, social medias. And then we give this podcast to KMHA radio. They play it on the radio. And then we're trying to get it into the jails so that they can play it for the people that are in jail. And so we're trying to and so with all the things that you shared today, it's very helpful, all your life experiences and all the things that you shared with us. So again, thank you very much. And then we just want to just encourage everybody out there that's continuing to follow us and listen with us, and that's here in our community to that you can reach us. Our phone number is 421-3312. You can reach us through that hotline or our Facebook, TikTok, our Facebook and our TikTok. And so, we, again, just want to say thank you, Fish. Just ask everybody, if you're listening to us, to try to share, to like and share, as they say,
and subscribe.
And that's it. I think that's it. And we'll hopefully try to have you back again too, because I know there's more we can keep talking about.
Yes.
There's more. We went for about an hour and 15, hour 20, and I feel like there's still more there. So
no, like I said, hopefully I'll be more. Like I said, now I was kind of hesitant. I don't like being out there. I don't like putting myself out there. I guess how I am. I stay in show quick. Maybe I say, "Gee, where you been?" But if maybe it might help somebody, and it's worth it.
Yes,
and it's worth it.
It
might help my son. It helped my son. My son just can pick up his 9-month chip here soon.
Yes, I've seen that.
Yep.
So it's worth it. It's worth it if it helped. If somebody said something someplace that made sense to my son, so that's why he's where he's at. So hopefully, maybe one of these podcasts, somebody can say something to get somebody's attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know that's what the end result is. So.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you guys for that.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you.
We appreciate that. So again, we'll see everybody on the next one, and let's go from there. In this life we live free, yeah. In this life